Here we go. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another Zagger-tastic stream. It is I, your friend, the one, the only Z, a single Zaggard, and I hope you're all having a wonderful morning, noon, night, evening, whatever time it is for you today. Welcome back to the Dragon's Den, my friends, and it is another wonderful, beautiful Fantasy Fridays here in the Dragon's Den. It is good to see each and every one of you. How are you all doing? Today we are going to be doing some more campaign prep, among other things. Wow, that is a lot lower than I realized. So I'm gonna turn that up just a smidge. If you want to follow along to la musique, I currently have it muted for the stream because it always gets copyright. Wait, oh, is it not muted for the stream? It should be. Oh, I know why it's not. There we go. Now it's muted for stream. I currently have it muted for stream, so if you want to follow along, go on YouTube or Spotify, your choice, and type in Zelda Lo-Fi and Chill. That is the music. Oh, my nose. Something all of a sudden stuffed. There we go. Better. That is the music I listen to run my campaign. We also have a little floof in here. We have Goblin right off screen. You can't see him. If you want, I can try setting up the phone camera for all of you so you can see the floofin. He's currently looking at the screen like, what is going on, meow? What is going on? So for today, we have to work on our, where is it? I don't want to reveal too much from the world to the players. In case if you are one of my players, get out. I don't want you being spoiled, okay? Yes, I would want the views, but no spoilers. So today we are working on session 5 of my Looming Shadow campaign. And currently, I have all of this written and prepped. All of this. Like, there is so much here. Like, you might think, oh, you're done. You have session 5 prepped. And you're right. I do. I could stop here and just leave it to chance. But I like having as much details as possible that I can lean back on and use at my own leisure. So we have, I do want to go through some of the details with you guys and kind of hammer out some stuff. Oh my God, it is so warm. I do have to warn you guys that in about an hour, I've got to go drive Claire. So we'll take a bit of a break then, and then we'll come back to campaign prep. And if I feel like my campaign is prepped enough for now, we will do some world building possibly, or maybe some more chill satisfactory, whichever one chat would prefer. I don't know why I keep using this French accented words. I'm as confused as you might be. Anyways, so first we'll go over what happened previously on the Looming Shadow. The party dove into a sunken ruins of a once holy church, now corrupted and swallowed by the sea. After navigating the watery depths and swimming past a very large unfriendly shark, they made their way inside, barely surviving. There they encountered the ghost of the kitchen chef. The ghost of the kitchen chef, whose spirit was trapped and bound to the church by the priest who had been corrupted. With a heartfelt ritual, Balthazar freed her spirit, earning her gratitude, and he promised to become the And she promised to become the party's personal chef at their headquarters back in Wildfang. Afterward, they searched a bit more through the building till they found the priest's quarters, his bedroom, with a fireplace, an odd kind of orange goop, and a large chunk of the building broken out and water streaming through, pulling anyone who fell into it, almost like a waterfall. Then, as they all entered, a chul came jumping out at them to attack them. One who was trained by the by the priest to guard this room. As they had to fight it, they survived, dodging, taking hits. They realized that the goop was flammable, and they attempted to try and throw fire at it, but the chul kept knocking their flames out of the way, taking damage, but not allowing the goop to light on fire. It would grab player after player, throwing them across the room, into the wall, into the water. They almost got pulled in, but Inky Cap using her ingenuity and powerful arcane magic, freezing the water just long enough to keep Balthazar from being sucked in. As the rest of them continued to fight the beast, it screamed and hollered, grabbing with claw, trying to pull them in with its tentacle face, until they finally destroyed it and defeated it. They pulled Balthazar out, and as they decided to rest, to heal up, wrapping bandages around their wounds and putting tinctures on their cuts, they searched the room. Inky Cap found old diaries of the priest long ago, hinting at a secret room. They then realized it was hidden behind the waterfall, and so Inky used her magic to freeze the water in place, just long enough to give them a passageway. After they all entered, they found themselves in a small room with a large ornate chest. Opening it, inside they found gold, the one thing all adventurers desire, and a large shield with 7 opening slots on the front of it. Plays with Squirrels took the shield and equipped it, and immediately magical energy started binding through his body, getting rid of his fatigue and his mind, the pain that has been in his mind for all these months began to lessen, like a fog being pushed away by the wind. And his true name, his original name, his birth-given name, revealed unto him by this magic shield. Is it living? Was it created by a deity? Is it a healing shield? No one really knows. In fact, even Plays with Squirrels doesn't even really know what happened. They then decided, well, we're here. We're not here for the shield. We're here for another holy relic. We're here for the chalice. And they knew that the chalice was deeper down, through the door to the east. They opened the door, and there was this weird goop with a tentacle and an eye-like thing popped up, looked at them, and disappeared. They then blasted the goop, and it went down, deeper into the fallen church. Fearing that it might attack them as they walked through it, they decided to zap it and pull it back and blast it with energy, arcane magics, ice, fire, whatever they could, to push it further back down, following it, till they got to a large octagon-shaped chamber with the goop ankle deep all throughout the room. They threw a light. What's her name? Valari took her giant fork, her magic fork, passed down by her forefathers, lit the tip of it with light, and threw it across the room, pinning it across, creating light on the opposite end, along with the torch that they hold. All 6 of our members stepped into the room, and a giant tentacle came up with the eye, looking at them, along with 5 other tentacles surrounding the party. They tried to reason with it. It didn't seem to be attacking them right now. It just seemed to be watching, studying them. They then tried to bargain. We'll let you live if you give us the chalice. The creature, not having any way of communication, just stared. And then it took one of its tentacles and snuffed out their torch. And that's where we last left our players. So now, we have to continue. Diplomacy has failed. The final confrontation begins. So how we're going to start the fight is pretty simple. Obviously, this Morpha creature, I'm just going to call it Morpha for simplicity's sake. If you know what Morpha is from Ocarina of Time, you're one of the real ones. If not, just look it up. It's pretty obvious what it is. So I'm going to start it off by having each of the players roll a 1d8. And they're going to feel like a shaking, a violent rupturing of the room. Like the sea itself is angry at them. Or the creature is fighting back for disturbing its a nice restful ways. And then because it's an octagon shaped room, depending on the number that they roll, that's where they're going to end up. So I'm going to label each one 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And they're going to end up against that side of the wall. So it's like a whirlpool and splashing and pushing them apart. That way the party gets instantly separated, but they're all still in the same room. That way I'm forcing them to relearn their tactics. Try to figure out who needs to be defended, who needs to be in the front lines, the back lines. They probably already know all this, but forcing them into a position where they're not allowed to be pre-prepared with this enemy makes a lot of sense, especially since it's this giant liquidy water creature and they're in its domain in a church that's underwater. Now, it's not really water. It's this kind of other substance. I haven't really decided what to call it yet. And as soon as it starts, the battle starts, that's the first thing. And then they're going to hear the sound of rushing water. And in one side of the room, there's going to be a huge crack in the wall, and water's going to start pouring in. Remember, this is a church under the ocean. Not that far off. It's like maybe a couple nautical miles, maybe 10 nautical miles out at sea. I don't know how far a nautical mile is. Let's Google that. It was far enough for them to have to swim for like 10 minutes to get there, so it's pretty far. And then it's deep underwater. It's like 40 feet, 20 feet underwater. They were getting close to losing oxygen when they got to the end. I'm not super knowledgeable about that, but I gave it the feeling like, oh, you're getting close to running out of air swimming down here with this shark attacking you. So it's pretty deep underwater. The point is it's submerged. That's the point. The point is this church is submerged. It's not some 3-4 story mega church. It's got like a couple floors, maybe an attic. It's got a basement, but it's not giant. All right, it's big, but it's not giant. 1 minute. I need to blow my nose. My nose is like suddenly so stuffy. I don't know why. Today I've been like so... Yeah, I've been so sneezy and stuff. It's really annoying. I know I'm not coming down with something. I just finished fighting a cold. So, once that happens, the water's going to start pouring in, and it's going to start merging with the what do you call it? The tentacle creature, the Morpha. And so every round, the water's going to get higher, higher, and higher. By round 2 or 3, I think by round 2, I'm going to say it's like halfway up their knees. Halfway up their shin. So by round 3, it'll be up to their knees, and everything is going to become difficult terrain by round 3. So it's going to be harder to move. And then by round 4 or 5, if the battle lasts that long, which I'm hoping it will, because I have a lot of different abilities for this creature, there's going to be enough water, and the shark is going to blast its way through. And no, I'll roll a 1d4, and after that many rounds, the shark is going to blast its way through, and it's going to be a second enemy to fight, and there will be a section that's sucking everything out, that's trying to pull everything into the ocean, and that section is going to get wider and wider, So it's going to make the battlefield smaller and smaller. Because this thing, and one of the things is this substance isn't normal liquid. It's more acidic. It's almost like a gelatinous cube. So this is like a corrupted, experimented on, magically changed gelatinous cube kind of creature is the idea I have in my head. It's got this kind of like yellowish tint to it. Instead of the normal green or white tint, it's got a yellow kind of like a muted amber, right? Or a molasses. Well, molasses is more brown, but you know what I mean. And so those are just a couple of different things that are going to happen throughout the battle to make it this ever-evolving landscape. It's never just going to be, oh, fight the tentacle, stab one tentacle, tentacle pops, fight main tentacle. No, there's going to be different things, and then it's going to have a main power where, like, when they've killed all the other tentacles, it'll go, like, it'll build up and kind of, like, pull in all of its liquid around itself, and then it's going to become really tight. Like taut, like a string is pulling at it, or like it's a string being pulled at, I mean, and it's gonna be like this, or like a rubber band. And then after, it'll spend a full round not attacking them, and it'll have this like wave of energy, and they have to attack that wave of energy around it and make it smaller and smaller as the fight goes on. If they don't do that, what's gonna happen is for each it'll have, let's see, there are 6 players, so 12 layers of HP basically. For each one they don't like ruin, it'll do 1 HP of damage to all of them and knock them back against it's going to knock them against the walls regardless, depending wherever they're standing. After a full round goes by, that's how it's going to start its next turn. If they hit it, because the way we're playing in DC20, and the way DC20 works is you have 4 actions, right? So they get multiple chances to attack this, and if they roll a nat 20, I'm going to count it as 3 hits. If they roll a dirty 20, it's going to count as 2 hits against this attack, just to make it more like it makes the rolls feel more epic and not just pass, fail, nat 20. It's fail, pass, really good pass, nat 20 pass, you know. Hi, Cowman, how you doing? So then it's gonna I give them 2 chances. They're gonna have essentially 2 chances, maybe more per turn. Or it has 2 attacks per player, so there's 6 of them, so 12 attacks. And if they bash it down to 0, it won't do anything but knock them against the wall. For each level they don't, it's gonna not do damage, and 12 damage is a lot in DC20. For instance, my players, I think one of them has 12 HP, so this could be a full knockout attack. Now, if they think of a way to like split the thing, like kind of Moses parting the Red Sea, if they describe like, okay, I'm gonna use like a magic, I'm gonna do like an arcane check or like an arcane attack to try and like attack down the middle and like place my weapon so it splits, I'll allow it, and whoever's standing in that section won't get knocked back and will take whatever that half the full damage is, because it's still an energy blast going out, and it's made of this goop that's all around them, so it's gonna hit them from the sides, but it won't blast them straight on. It'll hit them and they'll be able to like kind of block it. So that's how I'm planning to use that. And then once they beat it, you know, I'm going to have it be like the goop. And then when the shark comes in, it'll be a second thing that attacks them and attacks the goop. It'll flip between who it's attacking. And then anybody who's bloodied, it has to attack. That's one of the rules I made for sharks. So bloodied is if you're at half HP or lower. Because, you know, the whole thing that we know about sharks is like they can smell blood, and it puts them in a hunting mode, like they're like, gotta go after it. So if you're bloodied, you know, you're bleeding out, it's gonna run after you. That way it makes it this extra layer of danger they have to deal with. However, they don't have to kill the shark. They can, once they defeat the creature, it's gonna do like an Legend of Zelda end boss animation where like the goop kind of pops, the brain inside it pops, and the goop pushes all the water back out and becomes like an adhesive closing kind of gunking up the suction, the part that's getting sucked out, and pushing the shark with it. Like in Infinity War, when they blast open the hole of the ship and Spider-Man puts a bunch of webs in and blocks it, it's going to work like that. So that's how we're going to do it. And then they're going to be able to go into the room with the chalice. And this is the next part. This is the world building part that I'm excited for. What's going to happen is they're going to get there, and there's going to be like this kind of like almost chains, but they're made of arcane energy with a symbol. And it's going to be this symbol here. Now, let me find the other version of the symbol that I have, the drawing version. I forget if I put it, I think I put it in Looming Shadow campaigns. Yes. Can you see? No. Let me just pull this up over here. So they're going to see something that looks like this. Sorry, I'm just trying to organize. There we go. They're going to see something that looks like this thing here. And it's going to be covering the chalice that they have. And the chalice... Can you hear me, by the way, okay? Everyone in chat? I'm just double checking. The chalice will be behind it, and they have to figure out some arcane energy. It's going to be connected to some moonstones that they can collect, but they have to be careful with, because moonstones in my world, you can't physically touch them with your bare skin. If you do, it's almost like radiation, where it'll like corrupt your body and slowly make you sick. There's magic in my world is very dangerous. Like, using magic can kill you, or worse. And moonstone is one of the purest forms of magic that you can find in the prime material. And so touching pure moonstone is really bad, and it's also illegal to have it. So they're either going to want to sell it or like refine it as soon as possible. Owning moonstone in general is like, you need a special license for that in a lot of countries. Thankfully, Wildfang it's not under any specific country's laws. But there's like a social thing, like, oh, if you have moonstone, you're either a wizard or you're a shady dealer of some kind. Because it's mainly used as a drug by mages to kind of like search the astral plane. It's the main way they get to the astral plane. Meditating the astral plane is a high level advanced technique in my world. Only like the oldest of mages really know how to do it, and a couple of monks know how to do it because they're so good at meditation. But most of the time you're going to use moonstone, and you're more likely to get a more powerful connection if you use moonstone. But that's neither here nor there. Anyways, it's going to be behind this thing, and this is the symbol of the main bad guy. It's more of a giant monster. They already know the monster exists. It's Zakrabom. This here is the symbol of Zakrabom. Remember, this giant demon creature, aka Tyrant of the End Times, the Abyssal Behemoth. This is its symbol, a maw devouring the stars. The followers are the maw bounders. I might change that name, but anyways, yes. So this, and then this is a drawing of it, and so they're gonna see that symbol in front, and when they close it either with a ritual or arcane casting, or they decide to break the moonstone to collect it, it'll get rid of this seal that's on the chalice, and they'll be able to take the chalice. The chalice is a holy item. It's not connected to some evil monster, but it's being contained by the ancient evil that was here. And once they do, the place is going to start collapsing. I always love when there's a reason that they have to leave the dungeon and they can't come back. I love having narrative reasons, because otherwise, why not just, like, if they find a pile of gold and it's like, oh, well, you guys can't carry a whole pile, like this giant mountain of gold. Okay, we'll just come back here later. Well, you can't, because there's a dragon that lives here, or, you know, it's gonna get overrun by other creatures over your time, or maybe other adventurers will find out about it and they'll slowly mine it for its gold. Or in this case, the whole building is going to collapse. I'm going to leave some buildings alive, by the way. My plan isn't to destroy all of them. It's currently 2 out of 2 are going to be destroyed. So it's gonna fall apart, and then they're gonna have to escape. And I'll narrate their escape, and I'm not gonna have them do too many rolls for this because I have another plan after that. But they're gonna roll a fate die. So a fate die in DC 20 is usually just like, oh, whoever gets the highest roll gets this. Whoever gets the lowest roll gets this. Obviously, higher is better, lower is negative. I'm going to make it much more simple. It's technically a coin flip, but I'm not going to tell them that. They'll probably figure it out. But anyone who rolls an odd number is going to be separated into Group B, and anyone who rolls an even number will be separated in Group A. And they'll get, like, as they're escaping, the water will push them apart. And then they're going to breach. They're not going to be like, it's not like one of them is going to, there isn't going to be one group that's like on another island. They'll be close enough. Like they could see each other, yell to each other, but they're not close enough to help each other. And they're in the water, and that shark is still going to be alive. So that's one. So they're going to want to get back to the small town they came to for this mission, Saltbyte. But as soon as they breach the water, they're going to, so this is like some lore about the chalice, but they're going to breach the water. And as the cool night air is going to hit their skin, they're going to notice this crimson glow in the dark where the town Saltbyte is. It's way too bright to be like a campfire or just torches. And if they get a high enough awareness check, they're going to know the town is on fire. And then they're going to want to swim to it. Not just to get to that town as soon as possible, but also because the shark is going to be chasing whoever's holding the chalice. It's going to have like this weird attraction, like maybe the arcane energy pulls it, like naturally pulls creatures to it. And they're going to try, so they're going to have to, one group, whoever has the chalice is going to be in a group with people, and they're going to be chased by the shark back to shore. The other group is just going to be able to swim back. And so one group is going to get there before the other. I don't know who. One might get delayed by the shark. One might just not feel as much urgency trying to get there. Who knows? It'll probably be the non-shark group will probably be able to slow down or speed up a bit there. And the other one will have to like kind of maneuver around the shark. When they get there, they're going to see that the town... Hello, Adro. We're doing campaign prep and world building. Right now we're doing campaign prep. When they get there, they're going to see that Urgals, my world's orcs, are currently raiding Saltbyte, this small village on the coast. That doesn't... like, small villages tend to get raided a lot more than where they're at. They have... Their place, Wildfang, has walls around it, so it's more guarded, and it has a lot of adventurers. This is just a small town on the coast, not really big. Nobody really pays attention to it. So it's going to get attacked by the Urgals. And there are two reasons I'm doing this. One, I want to have an action scene where they save the town, and they get like, they save as many people or buildings as they can, or they can choose to ignore the town. If they do good deeds, people will like them more, which will matter for the future. If they do bad deeds, well, they're the bad guys, and people will not like them as much, and they won't have people to help them. Oh, hell yeah, count me in. I freaking love D&D. Yeah, D&D is fun. It is really fun to play tabletop RPGs. So what's going to happen is after they Pelican. So then once they get there, again, they get to choose to help people or ignore them and just be like, we're going to take our stuff and go, right? We'll leave them to die. And no matter what happens, they'll survive because the Urgals aren't here for them. And even if they're injured, they're tired, they're low on spells, they're low on potions, they're still better than an average villager. Like an average villager is, it's like the difference between a trained soldier or trained MMA fighter and a guy who works at McDonald's. one of them is going to do a lot better in a fight than the other. I'm just saying. Even after they're tired out. So these guys are going to do really good. So if they help them, they'll they'll save villagers and stuff. The point of it is, one, to do that, and two, to show to my players why people don't like Urgals. A lot of times, why people get upset, it's like, oh, why, like, we shouldn't hate orcs. They're not monsters. It's because a lot of times in campaigns, you don't see the orcs acting like evil monsters. They're just, yeah, you might fight a couple of them in a dungeon or here or there, but you don't see them doing like monstrous things like attacking a small village. I want my Urgals to, like, there's a reason people see them and go, that's a monster. Kill it. We do not associate with them. We don't trust them. It's because they do this. They attack villages. Why? Because they can. They want something of theirs, they're going to attack. They don't trade. They don't use coins. I mean, they might because they're shiny, but that's what they care about is strength. Strength above all. Survival of the fittest. Why would citizens hate them if they won't help, though? Well, because they're going to see them, like, show up at the town, right? Because it's going to be at nighttime. So they're going to go to the closest light. And there are going to be some citizens. I'll explain all in due time. So they're going to be some citizens. They're going to see, like, these adventurers. Like, oh, my God, please help me. And one of the players might go, nah, I ignore them. I'm out of here. I'm too injured. Like, I'm just going to leave that person there. Right? There are going to be some citizens who survive this. Not everyone, but some villagers will, regardless of how they do it. If they don't help, the village will be completely destroyed. Like 90% of the people who live there will die. And the next closest town is Wildfang, where our player's HQ is. And those villagers are going to come in sooner or later and be like, I saw you when we were getting attacked and you didn't help. What the heck, man? Why didn't you help? And it's going to make them look bad. And so, while they don't have attachment to this city or people, the word of what they do is going to spread. Like, they're involved in this world, right? Like, if you saw, a good example is if you were being attacked by raiders or something, and you saw a guy with, like, armor, weapons, all that sort of stuff, and he just ignored you, you'd be like, what the fuck? Sorry for interrupting. I'm just in my element. No, Adro, don't worry. I'm totally fine with you asking questions. So long as these questions aren't accusatory or dickish in nature. Not that yours were. I'm just saying where my line is. So long as they aren't that, I'm totally fine with answering questions. The whole point of me live streaming this is to be a back and forth. If I just wanted to record me talking about this, I would just make a video. So don't apologize for interrupting. Just know that I might not always answer your questions if I'm in the middle of a thought or working on something. Not because I don't want to listen to you, but because I can't be too distracted. I have major ADHD, and sometimes I have to focus and ignore other things. So just know that. Anyway, so if they, depending on how much they save or help, they're going to get different rewards. So this will start a combat challenge or skill challenge. If you know what a skill challenge is, in D&D 4th edition, it was this thing that I really wish they'd have kept in 5e, because I think it's a really simple thing. Instead of it being a full-on combat with tactics and a battle map and like, okay, so these guys have this ability, and it's just a simple like, okay, you see this happening, what do you do? Right? And you just roll a d20. You could say like, oh, I use this ability, I use this spell. I try to like, oh, I'm gonna try and like intimidate the enemies from attacking, right? And it can apply to anything, to someone being attacked, to you attacking someone, to you escaping, to you chasing after someone, to you saving a building. Maybe you're doing a ritual, who knows? It's so much more versatile and less constrained by specific rules like, oh, you can only do this if you roll blah, 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 and you can blah, 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 blah. It's going to have rules, but it's a lot more lenient and narrative focused, and that's what I like about it. And so basically, they're going to have to roll, like each of them, it's going to go one per turn, and then also they can't do the same thing twice. So it can't, like if this were a chase sequence, right? You can't have the rogue or the thief or whatever you want to call it, just go oh, I'm going to use a dexterity roll, and then he just keeps going success, 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 success. So then it's just the rogue show, right? The rogue would go, and then the barbarian has to go. And then the rogue could go after him. Actually, I personally like to make it that everybody in the group has to go once before another person can go again. So it's, it's like you're taking turns still. Now, if it feels like it's been enough turns, since there are 6 players, and the first player is like, oh, I have another idea. How about I do this, right? Or they can say like, hey, try to do this thing. And they could pick any skill, any spell, any stat on their character sheet and be like, okay, let's see. These orcs are attacking these people. I'm going to try and use an intimidation with the fire. I'm going to make like a bunch of, really quickly, make a bunch of shadow puppets to make it look like there's an army coming and try and scare the orcs away. I'd be like, sure, yeah, fucking try to do that. The more unbelievable it is, the harder it will be. But if they can narrate it and describe what they're trying to do, I will give them a roll and they can roll for it. They can't just go, oh, I want to roll intimidation check. No, we'll describe how you're intimidating them. This way it creates more role play. And then for each, so like I said, no matter what, they're going to survive. And some villagers will survive. For each success they get, they will get better rewards. Maximum successes they can get is 15, as I have written here. The least amount of successes they can get is 6. So if they fail 6 times, it ends instantly. If they fail 15 times, it ends instantly. So whichever one they get to first. So success is harder than failure, obviously, because it's only 6 players against an Urgal raiding party, which has already been going on. It's like 30%, 50% done. Like the city's already on fire. There's only so much you can do once it's on fire. You want to prevent it, but instead now they have to stop it. And so like if they completely fail, the PCs aren't going to like them, right? Will they spend a night at the city before the siege? No, they will not. The siege is they're going to run into it. The siege is happening, so they're low on energy. I'm only a 5-year player, so this sounds interesting. Yeah. Always use new mechanics. Just to know, are you sure that they won't try to citizens with the orc to make... I'm confused. What are you saying, Adro? They won't try to citizens with the orc. What do you mean by try to citizens? Are you trying to say use the citizens to help them fight the orcs? You can call them orcs. It's fine. Orcs, Urgals, same thing in my world. Or are you trying to say they won't try to communicate with the Urgals? They can. Either one can work. If they are creative enough to think of a way to do it, I'll allow it. It'll just be harder, you know? But then, and it's not going to work on all of the Urgals. Because this, again, it's a raiding party. Like, you might be able to convince, like, 2 or 3 of them, like, okay, I give up, I'm good. And they're going to walk away. But there's still, like, 20 of them. Maybe 30, 40. You know, they'll be able to get groups. And then not only will that be an option, it could also be like, oh, this guy's injured. I'm going to go run over and try and heal him with bandages or healing potions. Oh, this building is burning on fire. There are people inside. I'm going to put out the fire while the next player runs in to try and save the people. So it's not just oh, here are 20 orcs and here are 6 players. Clash. It's, here's a town that is on fire and being attacked. Here are 3 things you immediately notice. What do you do? For example, they will make a building fall to kill some orcs, but they will kill the citizens with them. They could totally do that. They could, if they do that, I'll write it down, and I will parse how it affects them later. Like, any option they choose can be an option. And I would count that as maybe like a win and a failure at the same time. Because the success, because remember, it's the world, it's how the world sees that they succeed, right? So like if there's a firefighter out there and he's trying to save people from a burning building, his job is to save the citizens and then secondary save the building, right? AKA stop the fire. Or if there's like a soldier and he's trying to save some hostages, his job is to save the hostages. if you kill the hostages so that way they don't have hostages to save, you kind of failed, right? Like, yeah, you killed the guys who kidnapped them, but you also let the hostages die. That's not really a success. That's kind of, yeah, that's kind of a failure. You know, a good example is in the first Die Hard, right? The main character, he is trying to get the police involved to stop the criminals, but they keep saying, "Oh no, it can't be this, it can't be that, blah 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 blah," right? So if he were to just blow up the building to kill the terrorists in that movie, he didn't really succeed. He has to kill them and save the hostages. Do I happen to have some evil players in the game? No, none of my players are murder hobos that I can tell, but you know, a few of my players are pretty experienced. 2 of them are not. So like 4 out of 6 are pretty experienced players, and they know to play their character, not play the game, so to speak. And I want to get, and then also these 2 other players are more. One of them is a gamer and one is an actor. And then some of the others here, 2 of them are more players than gamers, and 2 are more gamers than players. So, or actors than gamers, and 2 are more gamers than actors. But I'm hoping their like interactions with each other at the table will change the way that they decide to interact with the whole scenario. And then, so if they fail, it's going to go real bad for them. If they, if disgraceful failure. If it's a low failure, it's like, people aren't going to like them, and then costs for this session aren't going to go up because, like, there's going to be less money, there's going to be less food to go around in the town, there's going to, people aren't going to like them, they're going to be like, you didn't save the people, what's wrong with you? If it's a 50-50, there's not going to be really a penalty, but not really a reward. Like, if they get 9 successes but 4 losses, it's like, okay, you did what you could, but you really didn't do enough. If they get 3 failures or less, though, and then I'll be like, okay. The town, when they get back to the town, there are going to be villagers who will like, hey, these guys helped us, take some of our food, take some clothing. You guys, here's all the money we have, like maybe a couple hundred silver. I mean, it's a poor town. They're not going to have a lot of money. Thank you for saving us. Can you bring us to Wildfang? Because our village is going to be destroyed. No matter what happens, the village is basically destroyed. And so they're going to be refugees. How many refugees they save is going to change the way that people talk about them. And then they'll get the title Saviors of Saltbyte, which will it will help people like them in general more. I like giving my players titles and land and things like that. And then the final one is if they get 15 successes and like 2 failures or less, then not only that, like they're going to be considered like super great heroes, but they're also going to get a Draconic to Common manual. None of my players speak Draconic, and they have this tablet that has Draconic writing on it. They have no idea what it's saying. It's this ancient tablet they found. They have no idea what it's saying. They need to find someone to translate it. They might get a book that translates it for them. Like in their downtime, one of the players could read. Okay, like I'd really love to see the game. Are you going to record it by chance? No, I'm not, unfortunately. I don't have the equipment to record this game for me, and I don't know if my players would want it recorded because not only a couple of them, like 3 of them would be interested in it. 3 of them would probably be apathetic, but I don't think they'd want that. So it's like 50-50. So unfortunately, I won't record it. But if enough people want, maybe I'll make a campaign diaries video. I've been meaning to make campaign diaries videos, but every time I start to, I'm like, oh, it's not good enough. It's not what I like. But if you're interested, then I'll consider doing it. I believe a lot of in-depth description really helped them to engage, like showing how helpless people are and how everyone is grasping for any type of. Yeah, I have plans for that. I have like literally see it's here. I already have this written down, so they're gonna get there. Right as you breach the surface of the water, the cool night air hits your skin, but something else hits harder. A crimson glow dances across the cliffs where the church fell into the sea, flickering unnaturally bright against the stars. Then boom! A distant rumble echoes through the night as fire consumes the skyline. From the rocky path leading up to Saltbyte, you see it clearly now. The city is burning. It should say village. I'm going to write village here. I wrote city by accident. Roofs collapse under flame. Screams pierce the air. Silhouettes, some human, some monstrous, dash between alleyways. Steel flashes in torchlight as Urgals storm the streets, smashing windows, dragging villagers, setting buildings ablaze. This is an Urgal raid. What you do next will define how this small town remembers you, if it survives to remember anything at all. Personally, I'm a pretty focused on describing DM. Never love to make scenes more graphic. Sadly, sometimes it comes to really graphic descriptions. I traumatized my players like this once. So, descriptions are important, but they should be limited. And the reason I say this is, if you're not reading a book and it's not Shakespeare, if you descript too much, you lose your player's focus. Like if you go into, I've done this a couple times where like they were in a noble's house or I was explaining some big building. And it's like, oh, it has buttresses and archways and it's got golden lined furniture, blah, blah, blah. I was describing all these things. And one of my players, I could literally see some of my players just checking out like, yeah, okay, I've seen a chair before. So generally, I'll try to use description, but vague ones that they can think of on their own. Like if I'm describing a rich person, you see a man step out in nice, rich, white robes with a large pointed hat. His mustache waxed like that of someone from the 18th century. He wears jewelry all over his fingers and a large necklace. He has an entourage following him, placing a carpet in front of him as he walks. Did I describe the color of the jewels, how big they are, how shiny? No. You imagine jewels in your head. You imagine how the necklace looks. You imagine how his hat is pointed. Is it pointed up? Is it pointed straight? All I described is that it's white, clean robes. He has an entourage of people. He wears jewelry, and he has an 18th century mustache, waxed. What do you think of when you think of a waxed 18th century mustache? Love descriptions, damn, I'm jealous. Nah, don't be. All you got to do is picture something in your head, and how would you describe it? What are the key details that you would describe? And keep it 5 sentences or less. Anything more than 5 sentences is too many sentences. And if you need practice descripting things, what you can do is look up, either find something like, in AI to read descriptions off of, so that way you can practice reading them. Find books that describe things, like read through books. Look up a thesaurus of a bunch of different, there we go. Actually, I'll keep that there. I think it's a cool image. Let's just shrink it down. I think it would be cool to have this sitting here. This dark, ominous, yeah, there we go. That's a neato burrito. That's weird. Anyways, you just read descriptions to yourself. Read them out loud when you're at home. Look up a thesaurus. Like what are words for shiny, right? Opulent, pearlescent, things like that. Right? Synonyms for shiny: glossy, glassy, bright, polished, burnished. Think of those. How would you describe it? Write it in the most simplistic way, and then just look for certain things. And then another way to describe things is think of the 5 senses, the 5 major senses: taste, scent, sight, smell. Wait, no. Taste, scent, sight, hearing, touch. I said smell twice. So those 5. Right? You're very rarely going to use taste unless it's talking about food. You're not going to use touch unless they're touching them. So then focus on 3 of those. So then we have sight, smell, and scent. He smells of lavender. A sweet lavender smell comes off of him. Or smells of aftershave, cologne. smells of alcohol, right? This changes what the character looks like, how you think of them. We'll go with lavender. We already described how he looks, how he smells, and how he sounds. When his voice comes out, it's like that of a judgy teacher or politician. Hello, how are you? Yes, you sure are wonderful at what you do. Yes, I'm so happy to have you here. Yes, well done, well done. See how that, like, it's a smarmy, I'm now creating this smarmy, rich character who has, like, all these scents and smells and waxes, and he has a entourage to put out a carpet because he's too above the dirt. He doesn't even want to walk on the dirt of the common man. So that you think of those ones, and then if you're in a dungeon, change it up. Don't use the same, taste. You can taste the air. You taste the air, and it tastes as an acidic kind of taste in your mouth. It makes you kind of gag on your saliva in the back. Ooh. As you walk through, you can feel the air. The air is hot and musty. Sweat drips down your arms, right? You can now kind of tell we're like in a sulfurous volcanic kind of area. And then, there are other senses you can use, like sense of gravity, sense of time, right? Time, it feels like everything is kind of becoming amorphous. In this dark underground cavern, you can't really tell. Is it the afternoon? Is it morning? Has it been a full day down here? Your sense of time has become distorted. Now, you've been in a hot underground volcanic cave for a long period of time. Or at least what feels like one. One of my campaigns, I had to describe a spicy ale made out of fave float fruit that looked like a cloud in a bottle. The taste was fiery in the throat and made you feel lighter. Interesting. Taste was fiery. Yeah, that works. Simple, clean. How would I describe that? Let's see. Let's first go with the container it's in. Since this is ale, I assume it's a tavern. Taverns would generally have wooden cups, unless this is a high place establishment. Let's say it's a low place. No, actually, if this is really as high quality as it seems, we'll say this is like a mid to high quality kind of establishment, like a nice bar that you might find in a downtown area, metropolitan area. So you went to the bar with clean wooden tables, perfectly handcrafted by the local artisans. You snap your fingers, and the bartender brings you a nice glass pint of their house ale. The ale has this kind of cinnamony, spicy kind of scent to it. You look in it, it doesn't seem spicy as the mixture is cloudy and gray, almost like nature, the sky, contained into this one drink as it kind of bubbles over like dry ice from the edges. You gotta take a sip. The cup isn't cold like you would think looking at it. It's actually quite warm. You take a sip and its spice touches your tongue like sriracha, like a liquidy sriracha kind of as it goes down your throat. You feel it warming your body and you feel lighter, like, things aren't weighing down on you as much. You stretch, you stand up. Everything feels easier, quicker. You get 10 feet of movement. There you go. That's how I would describe it, at least. Is that a good description? Who knows? Only your players can decide. So anyways, that's the salting of... Or not salting. What did I call it? Sacking. The sacking of Saltbyte. That's a challenge. Let's say they get a medium success. So here's some different things. They could save the villagers, hold the line, save a landmark, loot and run, selfish escape. They could try to rescue the mayor's daughter. I'll add in a thing like a man runs, my daughter, my daughter. The man has nice clean clothing. His hair normally seems like it's slicked back, is all ruffled up. He wears jewels on his fingers. He turns to see you, runs over you. Help me, my daughter. She has been captured by the Urgals. They must want her for her beautiful features. She is, after all, the most beautiful girl in all the land, just like her mother was before she was taken by the plague. Quick, please, go, help her. You know, there we go. Quick mission. They know what they got to do. This guy's asking. He clearly has money. I'm glad you liked it. Thank you. This is a tip I wrote for myself. And here's a flawless victory reward. So then after they run the Urgals out of town, or they save enough villagers and escape from the village, they're going to have to rest. It's the middle of the night. They've been fighting all night. They're tired. These villagers, it's going to be a long walk to Wildfang. So they're going to make a small camp with the villagers. And they can sleep overnight. So in my game and in DC20, resting works a little bit differently than it does in D&D. There isn't just short rest and long rest. There's quick rest, which is a 10-minute breather. That's like, gotta catch my breath, you know. There's short rest, which is an hour long. Like, okay, I'm gonna relax. We're gonna get our energy back. We're gonna eat a little bit of food, you know, drink some water, kind of put on some like healing paste, not a potion, but like kind of like a older Neosporin. Clean out the wounds. And then there's long rest, which is an overnight sleep. That's something you do like when you're camping or in a dungeon. You're gonna take a nap. You're not gonna fully heal, but you'll heal a lot. You know, an 8-hour nap is a lot better than a 1-hour nap. And you're gonna heal as much as you can. You're gonna get half of your like spell mana points and HP back. And then a full rest is you're resting in a safe place, like a town, or an inn, a village, your headquarters, wherever. Somewhere safe from danger, safe from the outside wilds. And you're not going to battle for at least, like, a month. You know, it's like you are fully resting. And here's how I add it to make it even more unique. Whatever time it's been since our last session, we play once a month, approximately. Because we play once a month. Oh, I gotta get ready to get going soon. But I'll explain this real quick before we go on our break. Because we don't play for once a month. That's how long it takes for the player characters to rest between missions. Like, they're going to spend a whole month just taking a nap, eating food, going to the bar, healing up their broken arms, letting their wounds turn to scars, you know. Because we took a month, their characters will take a month off. That way it makes it feel like the time that goes by between sessions in real world affects their world. Personally, I really enjoy some camp downtime for the players. Oh, yeah, there will be some camp downtime, as I have right here. So I haven't written it all out, but they're gonna take a rest. If they decide to take a full rest, though, like before they get back to Wildfang, they're gonna nap for a month in the forest. They're gonna get attacked by Urgals again. The Urgals will come back if they rest for more than like a couple nights. Here, I won't tell them a couple nights. I'll tell them like a long rest, an 8-hour rest. You'll probably be fine. You might get attacked by some wolves. But there's low chances as there's a big group of you. But if you're here for like a week or longer, there's a high chance the Urgals are going to come back. Because they're going to see just a bunch of villagers and like a handful of adventurers just sitting out in the open, no defenses. And you're not going to see them coming. But during whatever rest they do, I'm going to have them I'm going to ask them questions. And this is what we need to work on. During their rest, ask the players these questions. And I'm actually going to call it resting. Or after the raid. Leader. Let's see, who's the leader again? Oh, squirrels. Steve. Ilari, Balthazar, Inky Cap, Luna. 1, 2, 3. Yep, that's all 6 of my players. So he's the leader. So I'm going to ask. Damn it! I know that scheduling is a monster on its own. Once a month seems harsh, but I imagine that's the best you can do with the scheduling. So we purposefully planned it that way because a lot of us have jobs. A lot of us live kind of far away, and it gives me time to really work on each campaign prep. And I run 2 campaigns right now, so I'm actually playing like once every 2 weeks, maybe every 3 weeks, so that's not too long for me. And we purposely did this, and one of my rules is at the end of every session, we have to plan the next session. We can't just end the session and then someone texts, hey, when's the next day for you guys? And no one replies. We're all there. We all have, everybody has a calendar with them. You have a calendar on your phone you can use. We all pull out our phones. Okay, on this date, I can do it because I'm this. I can't because my cousin is having a wedding, or a bar mitzvah, or a quinceañera, or whatever. Okay, so then let's pick the week after that. Oh, I can't because I have work that night. And then if for 3 weeks in a row, there's always one person who says they can't, we're like, okay, well, we'll play without you. And that's one of our other rules is we're not going to push sessions back by entire months because one person can't make it. If one person can't make it, we play without them. If 2 people can't make it, we play without them. Because that's still out of 6 players, right? If we go down, that's 4 players. That's a lot of people in a campaign still. That's like a decent size, the average amount. Now, if 3 players can't make it, then we'll okay, we'll push it back, right? If 4 of them can't make it, we're gonna push it back. We just won't play because we're not gonna make everybody miss the session. Like, I'm not gonna play with only 2 people. The all-powerful undead Lich King Steve. Well, his full name is that. That's his name. So I have to think of some questions. We'll do that in a bit. We have to go on a break. We'll be right back for... It'll probably be, let's see, 30 to 45. I'm going to put 45 minutes. So we'll be back in 45 minutes. Hello, my name is Dr. Foe, and I work for the Paranormal Entertainment Neurological and Intelligence Studies. There is a new disease sweeping the nation that affects ones of Americans per day. This new disease is known as dainbermage. Do not be alarmed, we know the cause of this dainbermage. You can get it from many sources such as watching TikTok, reading YouTube comments, watching bad TV shows or movies, reading fan fiction, engaging with social media, and many other sources found on the internet. This disease is highly contagious and can spread from person to person. You will know if you have the dainbermage if you are experiencing symptoms such as commenting on videos on the internet, commenting on social media posts, talking in live stream chats, browsing sources such as Tumblr or Reddit, and any activity that requires you to connect on social media with strangers. If you do have dainbermage, contact your local PNIS office, and an agent will immediately come to slow the effects of the dainbermage. If an agent is not able to come to get you in 24 hours, do not be alarmed. You can begin self-medication. One of the forms of self-medication is watching Zaggard on twitch.tv or the YouTubes. We have discovered that dainbermage is slowed by the element known as cringe. As you can see by the state-of-the-art presentation on your screen, the cringe waves released from your monitor and speakers create a temporary shield to protect your brain from the dainbermage. However, there is no known cure, so you must continue to medicate once per week to protect yourself from its dangerous effects. This has been a PSA by Paranormal Entertainment Neurological and Intelligence Studies. Remember, dainbermage. Welcome back, everyone. Okay, I know that was a long break. Sorry. We're back to campaign prep. Hello, Optimus Philip. Hello, Yuki. I hope you guys are all I hope you're all having a good time right now. Welcome back. So last where we left off, we got to decide after the raid what kind of questions we're going to ask the players, right? So let's first talk to our leader. We'll have, since he's the leader of the group, we'll ask him a question about the quest and how he feels about it. So, how do you feel about the, what's the word I'm looking for? Not engagement, not completion. I guess I'll just write now for how do you feel about the quest and what has been acquired so far? Steve not evil. Let's see, what does Steve probably care about? He's supposed to be a good person, so we'll ask him, what are your current feelings on the villagers you saved or didn't? And Do you plan to help them? Valari. She likes food. She's more of a foodie. Likes eating, cooking. So what kind of questions can we ask her that would kind of help create a conversation? Ooh, since she's a demonkin, does this raid remind you? Ooh, actually, we can use this for Balthazar. Does this raid remind you of any events in your past? Did things like this, family, because of the being you worship? Valari. What is the first thing you plan to do once your headquarters is set up? What buildings or rooms do you want to add to it? Inky Cap. Let's see, what kind of... Inky Cap was raised in the Feywild, so she doesn't really understand normal stuff. Let's see, how does it feel sleeping in the wilderness again? Does it remind you of the Feywilds? Do the villagers of your childhood? And finally, Luna. What is Luna looking forward to most? I have to check her stuff real quick. I have it in my head somewhere, but I want to make sure I don't get it mixed up, you know? Players, backstories. Let me just read over Luna's real quick. I don't know. Someone's going honk, 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 honk as they drive through. People are so cringe right now. I'm not even gonna lie. I just drove to Claire and drove Claire to work and back, and the traffic is so bad, which I'm not surprised. It's Pride Weekend. Pride Weekend always has the worst traffic. I legitimately, it like, people. It's not even just the drivers get stupid because there's traffic. The pedestrians get more dumb. As I was driving back, there was a green light, and a person ran out in the green light and went, oh, I'm so sorry. I had to run out during the green. It's like, you could have waited for it to be red, and then you just walked. Like, what are you going to... Like, it's so... let's see. What do you... Let's see. She wants to try and find something valuable. So, what do you think of the chalice you acquired? Are you curious about how it works? I always misspelled acquired. I always forget it's acquired. It's acquired. Acquired. What a weird word. How will it empower Wally and your what do you think to Wally and your headquarters in general? So let's see. Okay, so we're gonna have them all sit at the campfire after their battle. They're gonna heal most of their HP up. They're not gonna be fully healed, but you know, get a night's rest. Get some like heart tack in their system with some cheese. If they're lucky, maybe some of the villagers will hunt some meat or bring some food with them they can eat. And we're gonna ask some questions. First, we'll start with the leader. We'll be like, Squirrel, how do you feel about the quests and the item? And then also we're gonna let's see. We're gonna also give them. We're gonna remind him of the possible quest choices they have. The reason we're gonna, and we'll even give him a list of like a small give him a paper list to read over. You know, this way he can like role play, but actually still be actually doing it. A role play like a list of the quests and like, okay, so here are the quests. Right. These are the next things we have planned. And there are two reasons we're doing it. One, it makes him feel like a leader. He has all the information about what they're going to be doing, and then he can talk to his group about it and be like, hey, here are the ones that I think we should focus on. Which one do you guys want to do first? On top of that, it reminds them of the quests that they're going to have, just in case the session goes a little long, because it's going to start with a boss battle, and that's already going to be like at least an hour, maybe 2, out of the 4 to 5 hours we have planned. So that's a huge chunk. Then there's going to be this, which will be a half hour to an hour, and then there's another section that's going to be an hour. I have it planned to be an hour, hour and a half. And well, actually, no, it's going to be at least an hour and a half. So there's a chance we won't get through all of this by the end of the session, which is okay. But we need to decide. I need them to decide what quests they're planned to do next, because if the next session is just like an hour and a half of the stuff I have here, it's not going to be enough of a session in my opinion. They need to start a quest, and so they already know the next possible section of quests, but they probably don't remember them all in detail. I have them memorized, which is normal. So I'm going to give him a list, and he's going to go over like, okay, so this is this quest, this is this quest, this is this quest, and I'll make it vague what the details are, the actual details in world, but then I'll make it clear what reward the players get. For instance, one of the next quests would be they level up. I have specific quests that equal level up. Another quest is they here, let's and then we'll quest list. Returning to Wild Fang. How is it? Oh, it's this. There we go. And I just like everything to be bolded because it, oops, makes it stand out more, and I just like the way it looks. Again, one is a level up quest. One is a level up their headquarters, because since they're getting this chalice, they decided to build a temple, so they can do a second quest to level up to their temple to level 2. They can do another quest to add a different building onto their temple, like it could be a wizard's tower, a barracks, or an establishment, which is some sort of business. Wizard's tower would be for magic stuff / magic items. A barracks would be for crafting weapons or armors, along with training to get new fighting skills. And then establishment would mainly be for gold, plus a smaller version of any other thing that you could think of an establishment, like being better at cooking, or, making magic items or something. It's establishment is more versatile, so it could do a lot more things, but it doesn't do them as well as all the other ones, which are more focused. And so if they want to add on that, or a fourth quest, which will just be get gold, because they're going to need gold. And so I think those are, so we'll list those quests. Let's see. They gather on the campfire. Will they sing a campfire song? It's up to them. They don't really, I don't tell them to. If they end up singing a campfire song, cool. If they don't, that's fine. Lots of time they might not feel the mood for it. They might feel kind of depressed and tired, like, okay, I'm just gonna take a nap here, and so they're not camping. It's like, I mean, they are, but they're not like going on like a Boy Scout troop. This is like, oh, we're forced to be in the wilderness. We have no other options of where to sleep. Okay, so quest number 1, level up. Number 2, temple level up. Quest number 3, HQ add-on? Yeah, we'll call it an add-on. What we up to, boss man? I'll explain in a second. So let's see. Those are 4 quests. I'm trying to think. Oh. Backstory quest. So, question of the day: if you were falsely accused of being a cultist, how would you clear your name? So, so what we're doing, so we've thought of some questions, and I'll probably add some extra possible questions to throw around, and I'll rewrite these to make them more in the style of like more open, to get them to start talking with each other. This is to get them to engage and start having conversations while at the campfire, and not just, oh, okay, well, we're gonna rest and go to sleep. It's okay, so we're resting. What's happening while you're resting? Are you guys? Is someone sewing? Is someone cooking? Is someone playing a song? Is someone one of you trying to read a book, to study something? Are you practicing a new technique? So on and so forth. I should write that. Is someone cooking? Crafting something? Writing? Practicing a new technique? I'll say ability. Writing in a journal. Trying to think what else there is. Is someone cooking? Singing a song. by putting the cult members in rehab. But what would you actually do? Come on, how I would climb the tallest hill in town and recite the Lord's Prayer at full volume. People will still think I'm a religious fanatic, but a mainstream religious fanatic. It's not a bad plan, Optimus. Not a bad plan. Okay, so. Quest number 1, acquire first God Flame. I'm just going to call it God Flame. I don't have a name for it yet. I need to come up with a name. Actually, here, I'm going to put this in a generator and ask it for a list of names. So for my D&D campaign, I have a power source that was used by the Dragon Riders to power an AI called an Eldunari that requires something the God Flame. What are like 10 other names that I could use in this style? I don't know, maybe defile the name of the cult leader or object of worship. Ooh, that's neato, Burrito Yuki. I like that. Okay, let's see. It's giving me a list of names. The Divine Ember, meh. The Flame of Ascension, kind of like that. Solothar's Spark, might do that. The First Light, nah. The Ember Heart, nah. The Eternal Kindling, maybe the Halo Flame, The Breath Fire, no. The Ignis Day, Fire of the Gods, ooh. The World Kindler. World Kindler sounds like a person, so let's take the ones I liked. I like the Flame of Ascension. Solothar's Spark. I don't like the First Light. I don't like the Ember Heart. The Eternal Kindling, nah. The Halo Flame, I like. The Breath Fire, nah. The Ignis Day, I actually really like that one. Okay, so out of those 10, there are 4 that I liked. Okay, so which one, chat? Okay, I'm going to cut this down to 2. I don't think they call it Solothar's Spark. I don't feel like the Dragon Riders would call it that. So Wally wouldn't call it that. The Halo Flame. Ignis Day. I really like the Flame of Ascension because what it does in game terms is it allows them to level up. I think I'm going to call it the Flame of Ascension. Yeah. The more I read it, the more I really like Flame of Ascension. Okay, or Ascension Fire. Nah. The first Flame of Ascension. Each one that they acquire gets them to the next level. That way they know what quests allow them to level up. Then quest number 2. So we have the first one. I have that one planned. Quest number 2. They could level up their temple. So it would need to be another holy relic. What kind of holy relic could they add on to level up their temple? Well, this time it's going to require... This time it's going to be a cost. And I'm going to use... Because I got the idea from... What's his name? called Strongholds and Followers from MCDM. Where is it? There it is. I'll just use this version. So let's see. So the first level up, they got it for free because it's going to be a main thing of their whatever. So to get to a level 2, is going to be let's see. Normally I'm going to say it's 10,000 gold pieces. Yeah. It's going to cost them 10,000 GP. Plus another holy relic. And we won't describe it yet. We'll just leave it at that. This allows the temple to level up. All right, quest 3 is an add-on to their headquarters. This will also cost... Actually, we'll make this cheaper. We'll make this 8,000. And this one is 10,000. Because to expand a building in the way you're already building it would cost less than adding on a whole new building of a different type, right? Because, like, let me put it this way. If you're building a grocery store, you're going to need freezers and fridges for vegetables and for ice cream and for meat, you know, and then a bunch of shelves everywhere for everything else that doesn't need to be frozen or just kept cold, right? Obvious. But if I were to add on a trampoline park to that, I would need a whole new infrastructure that has things like, well, trampolines. It's going to need lots of large space and trampolines built in, and a lot of safety checks and things like that. That would be you would need a new supplier for those materials that you don't get. Like the suppliers for a lot of stuff for grocery stores are, you know, big food, agriculture, farmers and things like that. Farmers can't give you the springs and the mats for a trampoline. That's a whole other industry. So it's going to cost a lot more to add that on. In fact, I think I'll make it even more expensive. I'm going to almost double it. I'll make it 13,000. So because it's like they really got to find a completely new group of people. And then to make it a wizard's tower, they're going to need some sort of magical artifact, magical item. So let's say we'll just call it magic item for now. To make it into a barracks, they're going to need to find some sort they're going to need to get a letter of recommendation. So some noble is going to be like, yeah, okay, you can build, because you're basically building an army fortress. If you build an army fortress in the middle of town, someone's going to be like, oh, you're claiming this as your military defense station. You own this land. More or less. How are you going to do that? Like, if someone else wants this land, like if it was in the middle of a kingdom, right? Like if you started building your own military base in the middle of the U.S., they would send their army and be like, get the hell out of here. This is our army base. This is in our land. Get the hell out of here. If you were to build it on the border of U.S. and Canada would be like, excuse me, no. What the hell are you doing? Right? So they're gonna need some sort of letter of recommendation to like be like, yeah, it's okay. That proves something like that. That proves that they are allying with another group. Uh, and then finally, the business, if they were to make an establishment, um, barracks. I don't know if I spelled that right. I don't think I did. And then for an establishment, they would need to create trade route. A trade route. A trade route or what's another term for it? No, maybe not a trade route. I'm trying to think of the words. I'm gonna have to. So for my players, they have a headquarters that will be made. Next, they may want to add on a barracks, wizard's tower, or a business. Here is what I say they will need for that. What would be a simpler thing to acquire besides a trade route? I plan to use that for leveling the business. Instead, let's say like a contact, a merchant, guild, distributor. Maybe I was thinking of distributor. I don't know. Yeah, let's say secure a supplier slash distributor. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, let's see. Okay, so these and then this one is just they're gonna get a bunch of gold, right? So we'll think of a quest that could give them a bunch of gold, right? Let's say it'll give them 10,000 GP. 10,000 to share, but 10,000. This way they could buy the next upgrade, or they can use it for their livelihood cost. Let's see. Wait, actually, what are the costs for livelihood? I have it written down. I always forget the exact numbers. There it is. It's under in-world cost, downtime, in-game taxes. I forget. You can see the stuff I pull up here. So yeah, let's see. Wretched. I changed this recently, by the way, to add silver pieces and copper pieces, so that way it's like, oh, it's the cost is really starting to go up. So it's not just always a solid. You pay 5 gold. So They're not going to be wretched. They're not going to be squalid. We don't want them to be poor. We want it to be 10,000 plus, like, the cost of one of these. Let's say 10,000 plus a modest lifestyle for 1 month. So it'd be 1 GP times 6. So let's say... No, we'll keep with the 10,000, because then that's still a lot. They can just save that and use it for something else. They don't have to... If they want to go on the gold quest, that's fine. They'll be weaker, but they can buy some really nice materials. Their livelihood will be good. They won't be sick. But this one will be the hardest one, because it's just for gold. So we're going to... Deadly. We'll make this a deadly level quest. Average. Temple level up will also be average. We'll make this one hard. And then this one will say special. Because it'll be character focused. Because it'll be for a specific person. So it won't be, it will have a special difficulty. So let's think of, what could they do? Ah, hail there. Lovely place you have here. Absolutely love the decor. I must say, though, you may wish to invest in some better guards, as they were quite easy to sneak past. Ah, nerdy Sakura. Yes, well, you see, the gods aren't here to keep you out. They're here to keep you in. Shit, I've been here before. Lol. How you doing? How you doing, friendo? Welcome to the Dragon's Den. Right now we're developing some quests for my friends for our D&D, our 5th session. Well, this isn't for the 5th session. This will be for their 6th session. And we're gonna give the leader of their party this list that's like kind of it'll be kind of vague. It won't say exactly what the quest is, but it'll tell them what they're gonna need to kind of do, what they'll get out of it as players. And I think this 5th one we'll call secret, because we don't want to spoil that. And we won't give them the details, but we'll say it's a special difficulty. And special reward. I'm tired, so I didn't check if I follow, as I typically only send that message once. This is embarrassing. Why are you embarrassed? Why are you embarrassed? You're just, you're just messing around as a friend. Like what friends do. Friendship. So this will just be secret quests, and it'll say special reward, special difficulty. The others will be clear, like what it is. Like quest number 2, do blah 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 thing, also blah 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 thing. I'm just taking a short break from making one of my new characters. I gotta make 4. Why do you have to make 4 new characters? I'm curious. What's going on that you need to make so many characters? Also, are you the player or the DM in this scenario? Or are you a book writer? Or something else? Sorry, my arm is really itchy and I'm trying to figure out why. I got some. Okay. Let me think. What could we make? Is a deadly quest. We'll say there's a dragon. It's not actually going to be a dragon. It's going to be a wyvern. But the quest is that it is a dragon. There's a dragon that is attacking a nearby town. if the PCs can get it to stop, they will be rewarded handsomely. I'm a player for 4 games. They are on top of my current 4 other games, and one I will run soon. Wyvern Dragon, same shit. Well, not in D&D terms, but also I actually like the way D&D Wyverns are run, and I'll explain them later. Or actually, here I'll get a picture. D&D is stupid. They're not like completely wyverns in D&D are a subsect of dragons. They're a subspecies. If that makes any sense. Nope, don't want to change that. I have way too many. I'm gonna get rid of this folder for now. I'm also gonna remove this folder for now. Wait, what am I doing? I'm so dumb. I don't need a browser one. Lol. I need. I need a window capture. Do I have a? So in D&D, this is what dragons look like. Looks like a dragon. They're huge. They have some sort of elemental power connected to them. They all have some sort of kind of base kind of instinct. They have their own kind of area, they biomes they like to live in, their own treasures they like to collect, so on and so forth. 9 games is wild. Luckily, only 7 are weekly. That's way too many games. You're playing one game a day. That's yikes, my dude. I could not play that many. I couldn't even run half that many. So dragons are very versatile and extremely powerful. They're connected to the arcane. They're intelligent. Wyverns, on the other hand, are like this. Another good picture of a wyvern. And here's them versus each other. Dragons have 4 legs and wings. Wyverns have 2 sets of legs and wings. They're a lot more bat-like. And then also, so not only that, wyverns don't usually breathe fire. They might be able to spit poison in some versions, but I wouldn't have them breathe fire in mine. And they also have this huge scorpion tail. They're extremely venomous. Is what wyverns are more bestial, less intelligent. They're a lot more dangerous than dragons. A dragon you can negotiate with. A dragon you can make a deal. A dragon you can become a servant. A wyvern, you live or you die. Like it's all beast. You might be able to survive by like distracting it, or by killing it. But if you don't do one of those 2 things, it's coming after you. It's gonna kill you. Meh, same difference, Pepega. One of my newer characters I've already made 65 dead NPCs. They were friends of my characters and 4 that are alive. That's a lot to be making. I don't even make that many stuff as a DM. I would not want to be in that many games. I'm not even kidding. Like 2 to 3 games, maybe 4 Anything more than that, I'd be like, I'd be burned out. It would lose the charm for me. And I feel like the game would need to be. It would be like anime, where if I'm watching so many anime, they need to, like, every one of them either needs to be really unique or really silly. So in D&D, do wyverns and dragons have the same ancestors? I can't say for sure. I think they do. But dragons are like, they're like they're true dragons, and then they're dragon creatures that are dragons, but they don't have the true power of a dragon. They can't cast magic like dragons can. They don't think like dragons do. Like there's the fairy dragon. There's I let me think of all the other ones. I can't think of the names. I can think of a picture of it. Non-true dragons. So yeah, there are like lots of different lesser dragons. So like there's the wyvern, the dragonlets. What just happened? Stream, you still here? Oh, I hate when this happens. So my computer gets all fussy because I have the TV turned on and plugged in. There we go. Oh, that happened. Anyways, we're good, right? They're cringe dragons. True. My character has the job of a liquidator. He's paid less than slaves. The job is very dangerous. Hence why I made so many deceased. It's set in a modern sci-fi utopia setting. It makes that doesn't make sense. If the job is dangerous, it should be paid a lot. That's why people take dangerous jobs like that, because that doesn't make sense world building wise. Like, let me put it this way. Janitors in real life don't make that much money. It's a really simple job. Anybody can do it. You don't make that much. People who work in oil rigs or coal mines, they make a lot of money, but that's because they're at high risk of dying. You make a lot of money working at an oil rig, but you're also like 3 times as likely to die in a work accident, if not way more than that. So I don't get what that doesn't. I don't know why your DM would make that logic. Like, I get that a lot of people dead if you're a liquidator, but if your job is very dangerous and you get paid, like, why would you? What? Unless someone's holding a gun to your head and it's like, do this job or I'll kill you. It makes no sense for your character. Thought it was my 1 trillion tabs making stream freeze on my part. No, it was me. It isn't a job people choose, a job that's assigned to them. Maybe it's more like 10 times. You get my point. That doesn't make any sense still, because you wouldn't want a job, you wouldn't assign jobs like that to people, because then they get the skills to kill you. I don't know, this isn't making sense in my brain. Like, I feel like you have to jump through too many hoops to explain why there's this dangerous job, but you don't get paid that much. Like, why? Like, okay, now you're paying the people who are enslaved. You're teaching them the skills to kill you and get away with it. What's going to stop them from doing that? Right? What, do they have a magic slave collar or a electric slave collar on them? I'm sure if they get good enough at being a liquidator, they're going to figure out how to get that collar off of them. or that whatever that magic slave market. I'm confused. I don't get the logic there. Something big bad corpo, something capitalism. Yeah, yeah. See, because like even in Cyberpunk 2077, right? If you haven't played it or you haven't watched the anime, basically the whole world has been corporatized. Like everything is a corporatocracy now. Corporations run everything, and you're either you either work for the corpse, you're a criminal, or you're a nomad. Those are your three life choices. Or you're like an average citizen who just gets fucked over by everybody else. Though like your four choices are you're a nobody, you're a nomad, you're a criminal, you're a corpo. And all of those jobs, if you're a nobody, you don't get paid much. All the other jobs, you get paid a whole bunch because you do things like break in, you kill people, you steal from people. You know, you sell equipment for people to do those jobs. Like, if you have a slave force, you're going to have them work in basic jobs like farming or factory jobs. You can get paid a whole bunch. Well, yeah, that's the thing. There's the possibility of it. That's why people, like, the reason people become drug lords and arms dealers isn't because I just love the job. It's no, you make lots and lots of money doing it, and you don't care that it's hurting someone else. You do it because you make money. You get money and power, or you have the possibility. Obviously, if you fuck up, you're gonna die. Or yeah, That's that's why it's worth doing those deadly jobs. It's like the the criminal version of working in an oil rig or working in a coal mine. What happened to my pages? Oh, there we go. Lol. Anyways, that's just my thought on it. I'm just curious what the explanation is from your DM. How did you get assigned to this job, and why are the ruling political class allowing you to do that? Um, so now we have let's see, our quests for our players. So this one's obvious. Acquire the first flame of ascension. Uh, to power up Wally. This will give you a reward. Level up. Difficulty average. Quest number 2. Has a buy-in. Cost of 8,000 GP. They need to. That's. Maybe we should call these goals? Not quest. Yeah, let's call these goals list. Because it's not really a quest is what they need to do. Try not to write long messages. The bot will mute you, Nerdy Sakura. But I'll read this one time. To give world lore, the city where the world takes place is thought to be the only city. 90% of the population are humans, whom blame the 1% will happen outside the last city. The job of liquidators use the flamethrower to reduce the spread of scarlet. Oh. Most deadly disease. Liquidators are chosen at young ages, and the city is very heavily influenced by propaganda. Okay, so they're not... Interesting. I feel like the term liquidator makes you think assassin. I think then the term... I'm bad at explaining. No. You explained good. Just the term kind of doesn't make sense. I still think that for this job, they would still be paid a lot. But at least it makes sense why it's a necessity. What is the spread of are you killing people who have scarlet? Is that your job? I'm confused. Explain. So you basically what's that one organization? I mean, I guess it's the World Health Organization / what's the one in the US called? I'm forgetting its name. Oh, I just opened Discord by accident. God damn it. Oh, did it close my other tabs? What the hell? There we go. Not 100% sure at the moment. I just know that fire was all that could stop it. Interesting. I feel like liquidator is confusing if you're using fire. Even if you're melting it, that's a little... I don't know. I wouldn't call it that personally, but hey, it's not my world. Whatever. I forgot what I was thinking about. Oh, well. Guess it doesn't matter. Okay, let's see. Acquire the first flame of ascension to power Wally. Reward, level up. Difficulty, average. Level up your temple. Headquarters. Cost 8,000 gold pieces. And another holy relic. Reward. More followers. Better reputation. New team up ability. Difficulty hard. I'm not gonna make it average. I'm gonna say it's hard. Like it's not impossible, but it's hard because they're gonna need more gold. 2, they need to get another holy relic after the last one they just got. And on top of that, I kind of want to push them towards doing the goals list, the first goal, so they can get a level up. Then this one. Add a new construction to the headquarters. Costs 13,000 gold pieces. And requires... Let's use our friend again to... for adding on a for my players. What are 10 possible things they could have to acquire for a... Z, how energetic you feeling today? I'm feeling pretty energetic. Why do you ask? Oh my god, are you gonna make me work out? You son of a banshee. Let's see. Ooh, I like that idea. A magic hourglass. Let's say it's a magic hourglass. Reward. New types of followers. More reputation. More slash equipment. What do we call it? Equipment. Team ability equipment creation? Yeah, we'll say equipment creation. Slash income. Free income. Difficulty level is going to be hard. Or what his character thinks. I'll say, here, I'll write this as well. Difficulty is not 100% accurate. It's what your character assumes based on experience. Rewards are not guaranteed. Goal number 1. The rest can, for better price, better rewards, or lost if mission has major hiccups. Because I don't want it to be like a video game where it's like, oh, if you do this, I'll give you 10 health potions. And then they just sit there and wait. It's like, okay, if it takes you 3 months to do it, it's like, it took you way too long. I'm only going to give you 7 because you took too long. Or you only brought back half of what I wanted. You're going to get half. Or, wow, you did even better than I thought. I'm going to give you double, you know? Epic speech time. Well, what do you want me to do an epic speech on? You got to give me something. Did I? Oh, I might have removed the workout redeem because I do. Because I have workout on my schedule Monday through Friday. Now I have a different type of workout. So. Dynamic reward system. Exactly. It's dynamic. Things I should write. Everything is is fluid. Unmochi better mention the machine. Okay. Okay. Let's do this. Do you like rice? Do you like sweets? Do you hate when things are too sugary and make you feel sick? Well, I have the best dish for you. Mochi, the Japanese delicious confection made of a special type of rice, pounded and mixed with water until it becomes a nice, sticky, hard substance that can stretch and bind better than any flour. You can once it's bound, you can add any sorts of things to it. Filling, you can put sugar on top of it. You can leave it dry and plain. But not anyone can just make it. You can't just make it with your hands unless you're a professional, like some of the greats out there. You could if you want to use a bunch of time, or you can buy a mochi making machine like the Zojirushi mochi maker. Wonderful, beautiful machine from the Japanese. Will make you delicious mochi, and it only takes 7 to 13 hours. Get to mochi today, or live in despair. Someone use this as an ad for their mochi restaurant. Do it. Do it. I'll want the money. I'll take the money or all the free mochi I can eat. I would be down for free mochi. Not even kidding you. Oh, I'm getting a little lightheaded. I probably need to end soon or eat soon. So let's see. I had a new construction of the headquarters, costs 13,000 GP and requires a magic hourglass for the wizard's tower, letter of recommendation for the barracks, secure a supplier/distributor for the establishment. Rewards. Headquarter add-on. New types of followers, more reputation, more team up abilities / equipment creation / free income. Difficulty, hard. Let's see. Goal number 4. There is a dragon that is attacking a nearby town. For the last month, it's been killing and eating the town's livestock. However, recently, it's been going after villagers. The town, a large sum of gold to stop the attacks permanently. Reward. I'm gonna make it a 5,000 to 10,000 gold pieces. Difficulty, deadly. And then goal number 5, secret. Reward. Special. Difficulty. Special. And then secretly it's a backstory quest. Hello, Jastis. I'm busy, so I lurk. Have lovely stream. Thank you, Jastis. Welcome. The engineer. Sir DM, can I use power word kill on the CR2 goblin? I mean, you can. I don't see why you would. There are much better ways. You could just stabby stab. But welcome to the Dragon's Den. Okay, so here's the thoughts that I have for acquire the... And it's defenses for the upcoming attack from Zachar Brahm. And it's the cult of... What did I name the cult again? I always forget. The Mob Bounders. Did I write Zachar Brahm? K-U-R. Bram. That's right. It's Zachar Brahm. Zachar Bram. Do you need help? I'll just finish another codex and I don't have anywhere to use it. I don't need help, but I always like the help. I just finished, so let's see. So where we're at, by the way, is my players. So I like to give them... I don't plan out more than 2, maybe 3 sessions in advance. And usually if I plan out 3 sessions in advance, it's just because I've planned out so much in one session that it ends up bleeding over to the next session. And one of the ways that I make it so I don't plan out so far ahead is I have a baseline idea of here are the different type of quests and here are the different types of rewards that you guys will get as players. I'll say consistent income, not free income. So anyways, I like to have a bunch of quests prepared, and then my players... What happened here? Oh, did I open a new thing? I'll have to fix that later. My players will decide which of those quests they're going to do, and then in between... my deck? Where am I? Here we are. Then in between sessions, if they're like, oh, I'm going to do quest this one, then I'll be like, okay, now I know what quest they're going to do. I'm going to build a quest around it. That way, the quest is prepared, the monsters are set up, I can create a good story and build up with the villains of the quest or the villains of the overall story, maybe a unique event of some kind. And the what do you call it? And the players, that way I can spend as much time working on it, and and it's not like something I just have to throw together, and that way they can have as much fun as possible. This is how I make sure all my quests are good, but also I'm not railroading. Like, it's not, oh, you have to do this quest next. It's, here are the quests you can do. You tell me what quest you're gonna do next. That way I know what it is, but you only have these choices. I give them enough choice, like this, like I'm giving them 5 choices. They don't know what this last one is gonna be, but they know of 4 choices. They also know how difficult they're gonna be, right? Let's see. I can just give you the Google Docs, and I just got a 30-second ad, and I'm back. I put it all in a Google Doc if you want, of course. If not, that's 100% fine. I like the funny word, magic man. The funny word. I like the funny words. El funny. This man giving his players the power of choice. Here's the how benevolent. Well, there's two reasons for this. One, I don't want to like build up a whole thing and like I don't want it to build up in my head and be like, oh, they're gonna do this and then they're gonna do this and then they're gonna do this and then they're gonna do this, and then when the players are getting bored, then it's like, okay, it's not. Then I feel bad that they're not doing it, or they might do it a different way than I assume. If I plan out everything, I have to plan out exactly how all the possible ways that they might react to a quest or a temple or a storyline, and I can't do that. The human mind can come up with thousands of different choices, and when you have 6 human minds, that's 6,000 different choices. How am I going to think of all of those, right? And then so I'm not going to plan it so perfectly that it's condensed into this thing. By the way, if you want to share that Google Docs, you can do so on the Discord. Totally cool. Chill with that. Just type in !Discord. It should bring up a link for you to join. Let me know if the link works. If not, I will fix it right now. The link is always buggy. I don't know why. I always try to set it as permanent link, but then it's like, oh no, sorry. This link no work no more because Discord had to change. But anyways, so that's why I like to give them choices. But then I also like to limit the choices, like kind of bring the scope in. Because think of it like a light bulb, right? A light bulb shines in all directions. That means that they could do anything. They could just decide, I don't want to do this plot. I'm going to fuck off and go into the forest and create a sex cult in the forest. That would really kill my motivation, because it's like, yeah, that would be fun for one session, but then it's like I have this whole thing going on in my world that they're ignoring. And two things. One, I like to play my world like it's living. Things are always happening. That's why when they're going to come back from this mission, there's going to be an orc raid. It's not just because I want there to be an orc raid. This is what happens in my world. This is something that's happening. It's not just a static NPC town that only it's like, oh, we are only attacked when a mission is here. No, it's the orcs happen to be raiding when they're there. This is a common occurrence in the wilds. The link is caveman brained. Wait, does it work or not work? Please tell me. Please, I need to know. I need to know. So anyways, then so I don't really like the idea of them going off and doing anything. Like a light bulb, I put a filter on it that focuses it. It focuses it so that way here are the like broad range of topics that these characters would be given. Because if you work at your job, right? So let's say on Monday you have to go to work. How are you going to get to work? You have options. You could walk. You could ride a bike. You could take public transportation. You could drive. You could hire someone to drive you, or ask a friend, right? So like an Uber or carpool with a friend, public transportation, bicycle, walk, or the fifth option, don't go to work. Those are all options, but they're all limited to you, whether or not what's happening with work. Then you can decide how early you leave. Do you leave early enough to stop by and get like a coffee somewhere? Do you have to make your own breakfast? Do you decide you're not going to eat this morning? Did you wake up? Are you going to go last second because you wanted to watch TV? Or link works just fine. Sweet. Hello, make cutter hydrate. How are you doing? Oh, you have you helped with a what's it called? What's the train thing called? Oh, my brain is blanking. Holy papega. Anyways, you have the golden train icon. I love it. Doing fine. That's good. So, just like how you have a limit, like realistically, you could do whatever you want, but you have a limited amount of options. You need to eat. You need to pay your bills. You probably need to take care of someone, including yourself. So you're going to pick throughout your week how you're going to do that. That's essentially what I'm doing here by giving them all these choices. These are choices that their character would do. right? Like, oh, we want to upgrade our tower. Oh, we want to get more powerful. Oh, we want to get this special secret reward. Hype drain. I was spamming gifts so you'd eat wing sauce, and we did. We ate the wing sauce. Did you see us eating it? I'll eat some more. I need to print out my own rules because I always forget mid stream what's going on. And then Andrew can't always check for me. Andrew needs to learn to stream on his own because his chat engagement is a little wonky. I'm just going to say it, wonky. Well, I appreciate you so much for the hype train. That really means a lot. Did you see the end of the stream? Make cutter hydrate? Did you see what happened at the end? My ADHD is kicking in. We probably have to end soon because my ADHD is kicking in. I'm getting hungry and I'm going to play some Baldur's Gate with my friends later. So we'll have that written down. I missed the end. Go watch the VOD. Go watch the VOD. Go to Zaggard. Go on YouTube. Go to Zaggard's Den and watch the VOD. And was absolutely peak content. Claire was watching it and she was laughing at some of the stuff. I forgot Andrew kept saying what he was saying. I'm not going to spoil it because it's hilarious. Speaking of the Keyblades of Sauces series, I have someone making a highlight video for the first episode and the second episode. And I might send the third episode to the guy who made the first episode because he's already done. Whereas the guy who's making the second episode is 5 days late. If I had a semblance of humanity in me, I'd feel bad for those two gents. Stupid snow people having hearts of literal ice. You monsters. That's what happens when you live in Canada. Canada. Okay, let's see. So I guess we have the quests. I'm going to write them up in a different way that's vague enough, but also that entices the player. And is vague enough, and they have to kind of reword it into their own wording. But this is the outline for it. And I'm going to print it out, and it's going to be a piece of paper and be like, here are your goals. Do not share this with anyone. You can read it, and I want you to talk to your group about it when you feel during the next session, not section. The next section of the session. There we go. In your own words. So I'm going to give you a few minutes to read it over. And you don't have to memorize it. Just remember what you think your character would remember. Although you would know about the first one because that one's important. I need to clean. There's like a thing on my keyboard. 1 second. I had to pop one of my keys because I found like a little crumb or something that got stuck to one of my keys that I didn't notice until just now. I get so much cat hair in my stuff because of my freaking cats. I need to clean my computer. I'm going to send my computer in to get clean soon. Because I also have to send it in to get... I'm going to send it in to get upgraded as well. Because they're going to change the buildings in my apartment. Or not building. The windows in my apartment. Because this building is like over 100 years old. And it has single pane, not double pane windows. And the windows are right behind here. Literally, like my computer screen is right in front of the window. So I'm going to have to take all my stuff down. I'm not going to be able to work for like a week. But alas, as I am a snow person, my heart is slightly cold. What do you mean slightly? I came here from the Mythology Guy YouTube channel. Pokecatch. Then if you want to see the VOD for the rest of it, go on the Zaggard's Den YouTube channel. Or you could watch it here. It is on Twitch for now. I'm just always going to send people to the Zaggard's Den YouTube channel for 2 reasons. 1, I actually get monetized there if you watch the VODs. 2, they are up there permanently. Unless YouTube takes down my channel, or I decide to pull a what's her name? A Jenna Marbles, it's gonna stay up there. I'm not mad at her for taking those videos down. I'm just she was the one who instigated a lot of big YouTubers to start doing that. Like I remember Philip DeFranco said, "I will never take my videos down." Then when she did, he did. He took some videos down. I was like, You lost some respect, man. Goal number 5, secret reward special, difficulty special. Okay, so we got the outline for this, and this we'll rewrite this to make it more enticing. When they get back to town. Right. When they get back to town, there will be a mob of villagers complaining to council that they don't want this group to be leading them, and they don't trust them. So one of the things that happened in a previous session, by the way, is that they became the de facto leaders of Wildfang. So Wildfang is, if you don't know, nice, you got the Tauros. If you don't know, in my world lore, Wildfang is set in the middle of Nowheresville, basically. Like, it's not connected to any country. And it was created by a bunch of adventurers. So they could have a free market adventurer society where they could take on any jobs they wanted from other countries and other people. And, you know, anybody who gave them a job, they could do. But they also wouldn't be subjected to the overbearing laws of any specific country. You know, so it's very much a your skills pay for your livelihood in every possible sense of the word. You have no social safety nets, but you also have no government overreach. It's kind of like the best and worst of both worlds. It's where adventurers go if they want to truly be like 100%, I'm just an adventurer. And so the leader who was leading the town, Eugene the Valiant, one of the founders, died, and he entrusted his secret mission to them. But to do that, they had to be the leaders, the de facto leaders of Wildfang now, of the Adventurers Guild in Wildfang, which is basically sort of the government of Wildfang. Well, there's also a council. There's a council of 5 who are made up of different diplomatic leaders from 5 different countries who all want Wildfang to become part of their country. Because, one, it's adventurers. Adventurers are extremely powerful and important. Yeah, they're sellswords, but they also have, like, magic powers. They can dig up special artifacts for you, magic items, spells, weapons, armors. Like, they are extremely valuable resource. And one adventurer is probably going to have more skills than most soldiers because they do a lot more dangerous stuff on the regular. And then on top of that, it's located in a spot that's in between a bunch of other countries. So these 5 envoys are here, and they've created a pseudo government to kind of regulate the town, because everything is voted by the town, but the council helps kind of facilitate all meetings, and they have a level of authority that the regular villagers of Wildfang kind of look up to. Because while the regular villagers of Wildfang do like adventurers, there's also kind of a rough relationship. Because adventurers kind of like, oh, I'm so cool, I could beat up anybody, and they kind of like bully. Like, it would be natural for an adventurer to kind of bully a villager and then just be like, here, take a gold piece, right? And that villager might have never seen a gold piece and be like, and they might just like, yes, let him walk over. Or they might feel kind of emasculated. Like, he thinks he could just get away with it by dropping a gold piece. No, I'm not touching that. It's probably cursed or something. So this council has kind of come in, and they become kind of the pseudo-government to speak for the people. And, well, after the players became the leaders, everybody noticed this giant green, evil-looking laser just a few miles away from the town, shooting up into the sky. And that laser is coming from a giant, evil, 13-headed monster. And on top of that, these new leaders were the last people who came from that direction. That looks really sus. Like, did they summon that monster? Are they secretly cultists? On top of that, most of my players are not playing humans. There's one person who is a human. He's a pure human. However, he's crazy. He's literally crazy. He doesn't have his memories. He lives in the woods. They call him plays with squirrels because he was violent. He's like he's a rabid squirrel man, kind of. And then they have a wood elf. Wood elves aren't really liked. They have 2 demonkins. Demonkins aren't really trusted. They're tieflings, but in my world, they're not evil, but they are dangerous. Then there's a fallen angelborn. People don't like angelborns. I've gone over this whole thing. The point is, They already didn't trust them, and then there's this giant green laser from this giant evil monster, and they were the last ones there. And then they were forced on to be their leaders. Everybody's like, what the fuck is going on? I don't like this. Back it up. And to add even more to the fire, when they went on their current mission that they're on, they're halfway through it, they found a ghost chef, and they freed her spirit and sent her back to Wildfang. They literally sent a ghost who has a flaming head to the town, and she's just chilling there now. And they're like, what the hell is this? Are they necromancers? First this monster, then this ghost. They're trying to burn the town. They're trying to bring the devil to the town. That's sus. We don't like that. You need the council. You need to do something about it. So when they come back from Saltbyte, if they don't save the people in Saltbyte, it's gonna make them look even worse than they already do. But if they save some people, people are gonna be like they're gonna be like, no, they're monsters, and maybe like a kid or an old lady will be like, no, they saved my family. They protected my old house from burning down. Thanks to that, I was able to save my special cross, or whatever, or like the mayor. They saved my daughter. My prized possession, my lovely, beautiful daughter. They saved us from Urgals. The Urgals were attacking, and these valiant heroes, already bashed and bruised and injured, came to save us and bring us to Wildfang as safely as possible. These are not villains. And then they'll also pull out the chalice, and it's like, no, this is a chalice from the gods. This is a godly chalice, and not everyone will worship the chalice that's connected to these specific gods. It's all the way at the top here. The Chalice of Flames. The Symmetrians are the ones who... it's important to them. So, and maybe like a third of the town are Symmetrians. It's like, oh my god, they brought this holy relic. Yes, okay. And they start praying to it. It's like, okay, if they brought a holy relic from our religion, and then they saved a bunch of people, they might be trustworthy. But then that's only a third of the town. That just stops the town from killing them. That doesn't convince them they're good. So what they're going to have to do... yeah, this needs to be changed. Yeah, never mind, it's fine. So they're gonna return to Wildfang. And I already have this more or less written out. And when they get there, there's going to be the mobs like, what about the devil worshipper? The demonkin with the blood garden? Yeah, one of the characters has a blood garden. I don't even know what it's for. I don't even think he knows what it's for. But he has a blood garden. People are like, that's sus. That's super sus. What a... Right, and then another one's going to call out, what about the fiery ghost lady? She said they sent her here. I heard that beast girl's a fairy who swindled Darren with a fake cloak. Which she actually did to one of the shop owners. And then the council is going to be like, calm down. Let's talk about this. And then I have a whole section where they're going to have 1 hour to speak with the council. Each of them can speak to one council member. There are 5 council members, 6 players. So 5 of them are going to talk to the council members. The 6th one is going to talk to a wizard I'm going to have show up. Or maybe, I haven't decided how I'm going to change this. Because originally only 5 of my players are going to show up. So it's going to be perfect. 5 players, 5 council members. Now there's 6 players and 5 council members. And I want to make all of them do a one-on-one. You know, I'm railroading them a bit here. But it's going to be a game mechanic, right? But the only railroad is that they have to talk to them. They don't have to talk to them for long. And they're only going to get 1 hour in total. So let's add... who could we add as a 6th character? Because I know which player is going to want to not talk to people. How do I... Maybe a shady businessman. Hmm. Maybe. Trying to think of what I could. Chat. What's a sixth person? Because there's 5 council members. What's a sixth character that could come in that they could talk to? What are some thoughts? Character and what theme? Someone that could have important information or a deal with the characters that has a limited time to be here. A reason why he can't talk to them later, but he has to talk to them now. I'm trying to think of some examples. I don't know. Let's write down sixth character. Gives a wink and a nod to come talk to him during the meetings. This one needs to be in bold so I can find it. I guess we'll just go with... Ooh, wait, I've got it. I've got it, actually. Shady. I realize what I need. So, one of the things that's going to happen is that they're going to find a little coin. A tiny little coin. And it's going to have... where was it? It's going to have this symbol on the coin. They're going to see a tiny... one of them is going to find a coin with this symbol. Now, chat, do we remember what this symbol is? Let's see who in chat remembers what the symbol is. You might not, because I talked about it earlier, so it's fine. for those of you who don't remember, that's the symbol of... It's the sun. If it was earlier this stream, I missed it. It was early. So it's not the sun. It's a maw eating a star. This is the symbol of the maw bounders, aka the cult that worship the Zakrabram, the demon creature that they have to stop. They're gonna find a coin like that on one of the counselor's desks. The counselor is gonna say, "Oh, I don't know why that's there. It looks like a cheap trinket or whatever." That could, and it could point to the fact that that counselor is secretly working with the cult, or one of the other counselors is working with the cult. And so we're going to have this sixth guy come in and confirm that one of the counselors is definitely working with the cult. He doesn't know which one. He just knows there's a cult member that's working with the cult, the council. It will reveal that one of the counselors but it will be vague as to on whether it's all of them, some of them, and won't point directly towards any counselor. I can't spell. I can't spell. There we go. That's how we're going to do it. Okay, we've got our sixth character. I think we got some information down. We've got our next session planned out pretty solid. I think we're going to be good. Thank you, chat, for all of your help. It has been so much fun to have you all here, to hang out, to plan my D&D session, to talk about it. I hope each and every one of you enjoyed yourselves here. Good work, folks. Couldn't have done it without you. And what else I can't do without you is continue streaming, so I thank you all for your continued patronage. Watching is the most important thing you can do. Commenting and chatting, I love it. It means so much to me. Every comment, every chat. Literally, I love seeing them. If you send bits my way, that'll help keep the stream going and help elevate it. Speaking of, don't forget to join us next Monday for some more Expedition 33. Next Wednesday for some more Keyblades of Sauces. And of course, more Fantasy Friday. Next Friday, right before my next session, which is next Saturday. Look forward to it. Can't wait to see you all there. Stay safe, stay smart, stay healthy. Be thankful for everything and everyone in your life. And the number one rule here in the Dragon's Den: don't believe in yourself. Believe in me, who believes in you. Bye-bye, chat.